I just finished my first live stream with the Canon M50 mirrorless camera. I used the EOS Webcam Utility and a USB cable, which means I had great autofocus, but I made a few mistakes. In this video, I'm going to tell you what I learned for next time. Let's go.
For your next act, Mr. Markus Seppala!
How's it going? My name is Markus Seppala. I'm a stand-up comedian and TEDx speaker, helping you bring more fun to the corporate stage. On this channel, I share a lot of public speaking tips about how you can engage better with the audience. And these days, that means online video, Zoom conferences and live streams. The live stream that I did was a workshop about how to introduce a speaker when you're hosting an event. I'm going to put the link in the description where you can see the final product. Now, it's pretty good, but it's not perfect. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the setup that I used, the 3 mistakes, and then I'm also going to share some additional resources about how you can improve your video conferencing and live streaming. In the description, you will also find links to the products as well as timestamps in case you want to jump ahead. Here's the setup that I used. First, the Canon M50, then the EOS Webcam Utility, and a USB cable. And this works really well because I can use the camera as a webcam in Windows without a capture card, without an HDMI cable, and without any third-party software. Then I used OBS as my streaming platform, and then I streamed that to YouTube Live. And here's where I made my first mistake. The video signal out of the EOS Webcam Utility is 1024 by 576 pixels. Now, the aspect ratio is 16:9, but that is not a standard dimension by any means. The closest preset in OBS Studio, that is still 16:9, is 1152 by 648 pixels. So we're already dealing with 2 non-standard screen sizes here. And this became a little bit more obvious later on. When I started my live stream, the YouTube live streaming studio was complaining that the signal I was outputting was not a standard size. Now, it recommended me to change it, but I had already scheduled my live stream and it was too late for me to change it at this point. Unfortunately, this did not show up in any of the tests, so I simply couldn't do anything about it. When I looked at the final recording in YouTube, the highest resolution that YouTube was able to display was 480p. So here's my learning for next time. I need to pick a signal size that is a standard dimension for YouTube. So it's either 480p, a small downscaling, or potentially a small upscaling to 720p. Then at least I would get an HD signal, and I think I can do that without too much loss in quality. Now let's talk about the settings on the Canon M50 itself, and this is where I made my second mistake. I had it on manual movie mode, and the settings I used was 25 frames per second, shutter speed was 1/50th of a second, and the f-stop was 4.0. But there were 2 settings that I left on automatic, and that was ISO and white balance. And as I look at the video afterwards, especially in this area here to the right, it appears to me that the color is slightly shifting. I'm not sure exactly why. The lighting that I used for this setup was daylight, and I did notice that the clouds were moving during the day. Maybe it's that, and maybe that was the white balance adjusting to it. So for the next live stream, I think I'm going to set one of those, either ISO or white balance or both, to manual so that I don't get that impression of flickering. And now let's talk about the positioning of the camera, because this is where I made my third mistake. The way I had it set up is that I had the camera on a tripod pretty high above my screen, and then I had the script on my screen. And quite often I saw myself looking up and down between the two, and that was a little bit distracting on the recording. So my learning for next time is to lower the camera down a little bit so that those movements are not so pronounced. And here's my question to you. Have you made any live stream mistakes that we could learn from? Please put them in the comments. If you want to learn how to use the M50 as a webcam, I made a step-by-step video that's on the screen now. If you would like to feel more confident when video conferencing, I have a whole playlist about that as well. And finally, if you would like to book me as a speaker for your next event, please see the contact details in the description. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.